Hello and welcome to this overview of the Moore Industries Model HCS configuration software. In this learning session we'll be just looking at this facing page as you see it right now. In other learning sessions we will focus on the individual HART, Modbus, HART devices, and status of HART devices. All these other tabs will be explained in other learning sessions. That way you don't have to go and repeat this whole introductory session. So let's start talking about what we see in front of us right now. Right now, the HCS software is currently operating, and it's monitoring our HART devices. We see we have two of them here, so we have a multi-drop configuration. The first device is a temperature meter, so basically it's reading the ambient temperature here in my lab. And device number 2 is a level meter, currently reading 1.43 meters of depth. So before we go along too far, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop it from monitoring so we can make some changes and see how the changes are made and how we save the changes. So this square button up here will stop the instrument from monitoring the HART devices. You need it to stop so you can make the changes. So we'll just hit the stop button there. And you notice that lightens up this green button. These two, this triangle and square button, we commonly call our VCR buttons because they're kind of reminiscent of old school VCRs. This right-facing green triangle will start the monitoring, and the square red one will stop it. So let's talk about some of the aspects here of the HCS software. One important one is down here in the lower left, which is the communication status. Right now you can see I have a communication OK message here and a green light. That's very important. You have to have that in order to have good, solid, reliable communications between your PC and the HCS. Okay. Up here we have the standard Windows title bar, HCS configuration. Over here it says Untitled. We'll change that in a few minutes. We'll see how we get that to change. Here we have the standard Windows menu bar, and we'll be covering those shortly. And down here is a toolbar, which somewhat mimics what we have up here in the menu bar. But let's look down here first. The program status currently is idle because I hit the stop button, so we are idle. The HCS status, this is sometimes important information here. It says HCS is okay, so that's good to know. It's running correctly. And it says slave device AO fixed. What that is telling us is because this is a HART multi-drop configuration, the analog output for the HART devices, the HART slaves, are locked to 4 milliamps. So it's just telling you that the slave devices, the analog output is fixed on those. An HCS tag in this box, you can enter information in there which maybe makes it clear to an operator which HCS they're looking at. We'll change that in a moment. We'll put a tag in there. Here's more valuable information for the HCS, the device ID, which is the same as the serial number of the instrument. The serial number is on the right-hand side of the instrument. This is the serial number. And this is good information if you ever call for technical support, as the hardware revision and the software revision. That's the hardware and software that are in the HCS, not this configuration software. And the last program date, 2nd of October, 2013. And we have this progress bar. Anytime we are communicating from the PC to the HCS, you will see some lines going through the progress bar so you know what the progress is. So we'll do that right now. We'll put an HCS tag here, and I'll type it in, HCS demo. Demo, not enough characters. Let's back up. HCS. Oh, there we go. I had some spaces in there inadvertently. Now I want to send this information to the HCS so it is always identified as such. To do so, you hit one of these two arrows here. This up-facing arrow, that uploads the configuration from the HCS onto the screen here. And the down-facing arrow downloads any changes you've made down to the instrument. So that we want to hit the download button, and we'll push that, and we'll also see this progress bar down here. We'll start displaying our progress. So let me hit the down arrow. It says, please verify. Yes, indeed. And there goes the progress bar. and we are done. And we can prove that by now doing an upload, so we'll upload whatever configurations there onto the screen. Say yes, and we'll see the progress bar. And there we go, we are done. And we see HCS demo is now written into the instrument, so that'll always show up so the operator will know which one they're looking at. Another thing I mentioned before is it's untitled here. If I have a configuration and I want to save that configuration, I can go to the File menu, standard Windows procedure here. I can say Save As, and in this screen here, I can say, we'll call it Demo 01, and we will save that to a file, and now the name of that file comes up there. Okay, very good. All these other selections along here, we'll cover those shortly. The most important one being Help and About, because that shows what version of software that we are running. This configuration software is currently at version 3.5.0. So if you call for help, we'll need to know that. What version are you running, so we can discuss whatever problems you have. Okay. Everything else on here is pretty standard and pretty self-explanatory. View, you want to be viewing the toolbar and the status bar. That's what I have shown here, both the status bar and everything. Transfer, that's upload, download. Again, that's mimicking these arrows here. Communications is important, because here you will click on what COM port your PC is using so that the software can successfully talk to that COM port. In my case, you see I'm down here which says COM-X. So if you are using a COM port other than these first four, you can go to COM-X, and down here in the communication port selection, you can tell it which COM port you are using. In my case, because I have a USB cable, it goes up to many of the higher COM ports all the time, so I'm at COM port 20, and that's the one I'm using for my communication with my HCS. Again, here's the monitoring. You can say monitor or stop. Right now we're currently stopped. This mimics these down here, these buttons down here. And there we have it. So this is the overview, the facing page. We'll talk later on when we talk about the hard tab. We'll talk about all these settings and other settings over here. But for now, that should get you going so you can, here I'll push the start again, and we'll get monitoring whatever's going on in my lab here. And you see the red button come up because the red button wasn't available until we actually started the software monitoring. And again, I'm reading 73.8 degrees. It's changing a little bit there, and the depth meter is changing a little bit as well. So thank you for listening, and you can go look for the HCS Heart tab information if you need to know about that or any of the other tabs here. Thank you for listening.